I was already sitting with the decision. Divorce. Clean cut. No screaming, no theatrics. Just a signature and the silent dignity of walking away. I thought I was being merciful, both to her and to myself. We had grown distant, she stayed out later, laughed harder with strangers than she ever did with me. I had mourned the relationship quietly, the way one mourns a dying animal. I was prepared to let go. But then I overheard her, not intentionally. I was on my way to the garage, keys in hand, ready to drive to my lawyer's office. She was in the living room with her friends. 3 women she called her inner circle, though I always suspected they were sharks that circled anything bleeding. I heard my name, and then I stopped. "He's so pathetic," she said. Calm, careless, as if discussing weather or a stain. A laugh followed. Then more words, sharper this time. "He thinks he's being noble by staying quiet, like he's some saint, but honestly, he's weak. He'd never leave me. He needs me. He wouldn't last a month on his own." The laughter that followed, hers loudest of all, was what did it. It wasn't cheating, not infidelity, not a secret lover. It was worse. She had killed the last good memory of us. She didn't just fall out of love, she despised me. And she thought I was too broken, too dependent, too afraid to ever walk away. She wasn't just wrong, she had no idea who I was. We met when we were young, hungry, both trying to build futures out of nothing. I loved her ambition, her fire, the way she said she'd never settle for less than everything. I believed we were building our everything together. I worked late, I took extra jobs. I put money aside for vacations we never took, a house we never bought, children we never tried for. She said she needed time, space, breath. I gave it. I didn't realize she meant she needed distance from me. The signs were there, phone face down, sudden new passwords, a different perfume, the strain of forced affection. But I didn't assume betrayal. I assumed exhaustion. Because I still loved her. Because I thought love meant patience. But love without respect is just self-destruction. And she had already stepped away long before I noticed. Her laughter that day, the confidence of it, was my awakening. I didn't confront her, not immediately. Anger is loud. Revenge is quiet. First, I stopped sharing myself. No details, no thoughts, no plans. Silence is a language. She didn't understand it then, but she would. Second, I gathered everything I needed, financial records, asset documents, screenshots of every message where she demeaned me to those friends. Humiliation is abuse, even when spoken softly. Third, I moved money, legally, carefully, into accounts she didn't know existed but could not contest. Because while she lived in the emotion of the moment, I lived in strategy. I changed beneficiaries, redirected future investments, transferred business shares into a trust my brother holds, and I waited. She didn't notice the shift. Why would she? You don't notice something you never valued. The execution came on the night of her birthday. She had planned a party. She wanted something lavish but tasteful. I let her plan every detail. I paid for everything. I encouraged her. I even told her she deserved it. Her friends were there, the same circle of hyenas. Their laughter filled the room, brittle and sharp. She was radiant. Everyone told her so. She thought she was untouchable. I waited until the cake was cut, until the champagne was poured, until she stood at the center of the room with everyone's eyes on her. Then I tapped my glass. "Before we continue," I said, voice steady, "I just want to thank everyone for being here, especially the women who helped my wife through everything." She smiled, proud, expecting praise. I handed her an envelope. "This," I said, still calm, "is the signed divorce agreement. Everything has already been filed." The room froze. Her smile didn't break, not at first, but her eyes did. And, I continued, these are printed transcripts of what you've said about me to your friends, about how weak I am, how dependent, how I'd never leave. I nodded toward the women, who were suddenly very busy not making eye contact. They weren't as loyal as you thought. I didn't yell, I didn't accuse, I didn't insult. I simply stepped out of the life she mocked. Her voice came then, cracking, scattered, asking why, how, when. I didn't answer, because she already knew. The guests were silent. The house was quiet. I walked out. She called, texted, showed up at my new place once, cried, apologized, begged. Not for me, for the life she lost. The status, the security, the image. Her friends faded. They always do when the blood dries. She asked if we could start over. I looked at her, calm, empty, done. You were right, I said. I did stay too long. And I closed the door. I don't regret any of it. I wasn't angry when I did what I did. Anger is impulsive. I was precise. She thought I was weak. She confused kindness with dependence, love with submission, silence with fear. She forgot that I was the one who built everything she stood on. Leaving wasn't the revenge. Showing her I never needed her to begin with, that was. And she lives with that truth now, while I live free.